Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manomishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Lita Shri Vishakamitamsha Namo Vishnupadaya Shri Lita Shri Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yutabadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabhudutam Garijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Gita Shri Vishakamitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarani Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhi Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, okay? Pashyanti adurupamadabrachakshusha sahasrapadorubhujananadbhutam sahasramurdha sravanakshinaashikam sahasramoliyambarakundalulasat. Pashyanti, see, adaha, the form of the Purusha, Rupam, form, adabra, perfect, chakshusha, by the eyes, sahasrapada, thousands of legs, uru, thighs, bhuja, anana, hands and faces, adbhutam, much wonderful, and sahasra, thousands of murdha, heads, stravana, ears, akshi, eyes, nashikam, noses, sahasra, thousands, mauli, garlands, ambara, dresses, and Kundala earrings, Ulasat all glowing. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ho. The devotees with their perfect eyes see the transcendental form of the Purusha, who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms, and faces, all extraordinary. In that body, there are thousands of heads, ears, eyes, and noses. They are decorated with thousands of helmets and glowing earrings and are adorned with garlands. Purport. With our present materialized senses, we cannot perceive anything of the transcendental Lord. Really. Anything, yes. Our present senses are to be rectified by the process of devotional service. Then the Lord Himself becomes revealed to us. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that the transcendental Lord can be perceived only by pure devotional service. Only by pure devotional service. So it is confirmed in the Vedas that only devotional service can lead one to the side of the Lord, and that only devotional service can reveal Him. In the Brahma Samhita also it is said that the Lord is always visible to the devotees whose eyes have been anointed with the tinge of the devotional service. So we have to take information of the transcendental form of the Lord from persons who have actually seen Him with perfect eyes smeared with the devotional service. In the material world also we do not always see things with our own eyes. We sometimes see through the experience of those who have actually seen or done things. This is a very important thing. If that is the process for experiencing a mundane object, it is more perfectly applicable in matters transcendental. So, only with patience and perseverance can we realize the transcendental subject matter regarding the absolute truth. What is it? Patience and perseverance. Transcendental subject matter regarding the absolute truth and his different forms. He is formless to the neophytes, but he is in transcendental form to the expert servitor. Wow, wonderful. एतानानावताराणां निधानं बीजमव्ययम् यस्यां सांसेन सृजन्ते देवतिर्यान्नरादयः. Synonyms, translation, purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Etad, this form, Nana, multifarious, avataranam of the incarnations, Nidhanam, source, Bijam, seeds, Avyayam, indestructible, Yasya, whose Amsa, plenary portion, Amsena, part of the plenary portion, Shrijanti, create, Deva, demigods, Tiriyak, animals, Nara Adyaha, human beings and others. Translation purport. This form, the second manifestation of the Purusha, is the source and the indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. From the particles and the portions of this form, different living entities are lived, like demigods, men, and others are created. Oh. Purpose. The Purusha, after creating innumerable universes in the Mahatattva, entered in each of them as a second Purusha, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. When he saw that within the universe there was only darkness and space without a resting place, he filled half of the ocean with water from his own perspiration and laid himself down on the same water. This water is called Garbhodaka. Then from his navel the stem of the lotus flower sprouted, and on the flower petals the birth of the Brahma, or the master engineer of the universal plan, took place. Brahma became the engineer of the universe, and the Lord himself took charge of the maintenance of the universe as Vishnu. Brahma was generated from the Rajoguna of the Prakriti, or the mode of passion in nature, and Vishnu became the Lord of the mode of goodness. Vishnu, being transcendental to all the modes, is always aloof from materialistic affection. Materialistic affection. There is affection in materialistic. This has already been explained. From Brahma, there is Rudra, Shiva, who is in charge of the mode of ignorance and darkness. He destroys the whole creation by the will of the Lord. Therefore, all three, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, are incarnations of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. From Brahma, the other demigods like Daksha, Marichi, Manu, and many others become incarnated to generate living entities within the universe. This Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is glorified in the Vedas in the hymns of Garbhashtuti, which begin with the description of the Lord as having thousands of heads, etc. The Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is the Lord of the universe, and all the he appears to be lying within the universe. He is always transcendental. This has already been explained. This also has already been explained. The Vishnu, who is plenary portion of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, is the super soul of the universal life, and he is known as maintainer of the universe, or the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. And so the three features of the original Purusha are thus understood, and all the incarnations within the universe are emanations from the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. In the different millennia, there are different incarnations and they are innumerable, although some of them are very prominent, such as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Rama, Narsimha, Vamana, and many others. These incarnations are called Leela incarnations. Then there are qualitative incarnations such as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, Rudra, who take charge of the different modes of the material nature. Lord Vishnu is non-different from the personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva is in the marginal position between the personality of Godhead and the living entities or the jivas. Brahma is always a jiva tattva. The highest pious living being or the greatest devotee of the Lord is empowered with the potency of the Lord for creation, and he is called Brahma. His power is like the power of the sun, reflected in invaluable stones and jewels. When there is no such living being to take charge of the post of the Brahma, the Lord himself becomes a Brahma and takes charge of the post. Lord Shiva is not an ordinary living being. He is a primary portion of the Lord, but because Lord Shiva is in direct contact with the material nature, he is not exactly in the same transcendental position as Lord Vishnu. The difference is like that between the milk and the curd. Curd is nothing but milk, and yet cannot be used in place of milk. The next incarnations are the Manus. Within one day's duration of the life of Brahma, which is calculated by our solar years as 4,300,000,000 years, there are 14 Manus. Therefore, there are 420 Manus in one day. It's there. There are 420 Manus in 1 month of Brahma. And so 5,040 Manus in 1 year of Brahma. And Brahma lives for 100 years of his age. And therefore, there are 5,040 into 100, that becomes 504,000 Manus in the duration of the Brahma's life. There are innumerable universes with one Brahma in each of them, and all of them are created and annihilated during the breathing time of the Purusha. Therefore, one can simply imagine how many millions of Manus there are during one breath of the Purusha. The Manus who are prominent within the universe are as follows: Yagna as Swayambhuva Manu, Vibhu as Saro Swarochisa Manu, Satyasena as Uttama Manu, Hari as Tamasa Manu, Vaikunta as Raivata Manu, Ajita as Chakshusha Manu, Vamana as Vaivatsavata Manu. The present is under the Vaivatsavata Manu. Sarvabhauma as Savarni Manu, Rishabha as Daksha Savarni Manu, Vishwakshena as Brahma Savarni Manu, Dharma Setu as Dharma Savarni Manu, Sudama as Rudra Savarni Manu, Yogeshwara as Deva Savarni Manu, and Brihadbhanu as Indra Savarni Manu. These are all the names of one set of 14 Manus covering 4,300,000 solar years as described above. Then there are Yuga avatars, the incarnations of the millennia. The yugas known as the Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga, the incarnations of each yuga are of different color. The colors are white, red, black, and yellow. In the Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna in black appeared, and in the Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya in yellow color appeared. So all the incarnations of the Lord are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. There is no scope for an impostor to become an incarnation, for an incarnation must be mentioned in the Shastras. An incarnation does not declare himself to be an incarnation of the Lord, but great sages agree by the symptoms mentioned in the revealed scriptures. The features of the incarnation and the particular type of the mission which he has to execute are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Apart from this direct incarnations, there are innumerable empowered. When there are directly empowered, they are called vibhutis. Directly incarnations are the Kumaras, Narada, Prithu, Shesha, Ananta, etc. As far as the Vibhutis are concerned, they are very explicitly described in the Bhagavad Gita in the Vibhuti Yoga chapter. And for all these different types of incarnation, the fountainhead is Garbhadakshay Vishnu. Wow. Sayeva Pratamam Devah Kaumaram Sargamyasritha Tachara Dushcharam Brahmacharyam Makhanditam. So that Eva suddenly, Pratamam, first Deva, Supreme Lord, Kaumaram, named by the Kumaras, unmarried. The Sargam creation, Asritam under Chara performed Dushcharam, very difficult to do. Brahma in the order of the Brahma. Brahmacharyam under the discipline of to realize the absolute Brahma, Akhanditam, unbroken. First of all, in the beginning of the creation, there were the 4 unmarried sons of the Brahma, the Kumaras, who, being situated in the vow of celibacy, underwent severe austerities for realization of the absolute truth. They went severe austerities, huh? For the absolute truth, you should do the severe austerities. Okay? Next, moving to the next point, purport. The creation of the material world is affected, maintained, and then again annihilated at certain intervals. So there are different names of the creations in terms of the particular types of Brahma, the father of the living beings in the creation. The Kumaras, as above mentioned, appeared in the Kaumara creation of the material world and to teach us the process of Brahman realization. They underwent a severe type of disciplinary action as Brahman bachelors. These Kumaras are empowered incarnations, and before executing the severe type of disciplinary actions, all of them became qualified Brahmanas. This example suggests that one must first acquire the qualifications of the Brahmana, not simply by birth, but also by quality, and then one can undergo the process of Brahman realization. By quality, you should become like a Brahmana, okay? Yes, then you can search for the Brahman realization. Let's move into the next one. Dvitiyam tu bhavayasya rasatalagatim mahim uddharishyan upadatta yajnesha saukaram vapuhum. Dvitiyan, the second to but bhavaya, for the welfare asya of this earth, rasatala of the lowest region, gatam, having gone, mahim, the earth, uddharishyan, lifting, upadatta, established, yajnesha, the proprietor or the supreme enjoyer, Saukaram, the yogish, hogish, Vapuhu, incarnation. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices accepted the incarnation of a boar, the second incarnation, and for the welfare of the earth, he lifted the earth from the nether regions of the universe. Nether regions of the universe. The indication of that for each and every incarnation of the personality of God, the particular function executed is also mentioned. There cannot be any incarnation without a particular function, and such functions are always extraordinary. They are impossible for any living being to perform. The incarnation of the boar was to take the earth out of the Pluto's region of filthy matter. Picking up something from a filthy place is done by the boar, and the all-powerful personality of God displayed this wonderful This wonder to the Asuras, who had hidden the earth in such a filthy place. There is nothing impossible for the personality of God, and although he played the part of the board, but the devotees is worshipped, staying always in transcendence. तृतीयं ऋषिसर्गं वै देवर्षितं देवर्षित्वं नुपेत्य सः तन्त्रं सात्वतम् आचस्ता नैष्कर्म्यं कर्मणां यतः. Tritiyam, the third one, Rishi Sargam, the millennium of the Rishis. Why? Certainly, the Varshitvam, incarnation of the Rishi amongst the demigods. Upayatya, having accepted Sahi Tantram, exposition of the Vedas, Satvatam, which is especially meant for devotional service, are just a collected, nice karmyam, non-fruitive. Karmanam of work, yataha, from which translation. In the millennium of the rishis, the personality of God had accepted the third empowered incarnation in the form of Devarshi Narada. Ooh. Who is the great sage among the demigods. He collected expositions of the Vedas which deal with the devotional service and which inspire non-fruitive work, non-fruitive action. Wow, 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 wow. Devarshi Narada. Purport. The great sage Narada, who is an empowered incarnation of the personality of God, propagates devotional service all over the universe. All great devotees of the Lord, all over the universe, and different planets and species of life are his disciples. Vyasadeva, the compiler of the Srimad Bhagavatam, is also one of his disciples. Narada is the author of the Narada Pancharatra, which is the exposition of the Vedas, particularly for the devotion service of the Lord. This Narada Pancharatra trains the karmis, or the fruity workers, to achieve liberation from the bondage of fruity work. The conditioned souls are mostly attracted by the fruity work because they want to enjoy life by the sweat of their own brows. The whole universe by the sweat of their own brows. Brows. How to read this one? Brows. The whole universe is full of fruity workers in all species of life. The fruity works include all kinds of economic development plans, but the law of nature provides that every action has its resultant reaction, and the performer of the work is bound up by such reactions, good or bad. The reaction of a good work is comparatively material prosperity, whereas the reaction of the bad work is comparative material distress. But material conditions, either in so-called happiness or in so-called distress, are all meant ultimately for distress only. Foolish materialists have no information of how to obtain eternal happiness in the unconditional state. Sri Narada informs these foolish fruity workers how to realize the reality of happiness. He gives direction to the deceased men of the world how one's present engagement can lead one to the path of spiritual emancipation. The physician directs the patient to take treated milk in the form of curd for his sufferings from indigestion due to his taking another milk preparation. So the cause of the disease and the remedy of the disease may be the same, but it must be treated by an expert physician like Narada. The Bhagavad Gita also gives the same solution of serving the Lord by the fruits of one labor that will lead one to the path of Naishkarmya or liberation. Turye dharma kala sarge naranarayana vrishi bhutvatmopasha amopetam akaro duscharam tapaha. Turiya, in the fourth of the line, Dharmakala, wife of Dharmaraja, Sarge, being born of Narayana, named Narayana, Rishi sages Bhutva, becoming Atma Upasama, controlling the senses, Upetam, for achievement of Akarot, undertook Duscharam, very strenuous, Tapaha penance. In the fourth incarnation, the Lord became Nara and Narayana, the twin sons of the wife of King Dharma. Oh, is King Dharma's sons. Oh. Thus he underwent severe and exemplary penances to control the senses. What? Purport. As King Rishabha advised his sons, tapasya, or voluntary acceptance of the penance for realization of the transcendence, is the only duty of the human being. This is the only duty. It was so done by the Lord himself in exemplar manner to teach us. The Lord is very kind to the forgetful souls. He therefore comes himself and leaves behind necessary instructions and also sends his good sons as representatives to call all the conditioned souls back to God. Recently, within the memory of everyone, Lord Chaitanya also appeared for the same purpose, to show special favor to the fallen souls of this age of iron industry. The incarnation of the Narayana is worshipped still at Badri Narayana on the range of the Himalayas. Panchamah kapilo nama siddesha kala viplutam provacha suraye shankyam tattva grama vinirnayam. Panchamaha, the fifth one, Kapilaha, the Kapila nama of the name, Siddeshaha, the foremost amongst the perfect, Kala time, Upviplutam, lost, Pravacha, said Ashuraye, unto the Brahmana named Ashuri, Sankhya, metaphysics, Tattva Grama, the sum total of the creative elements, Vinirnayam, exposition. The fifth incarnation named Lord Kapila is foremost among perfected beings. He gave an exposition of the creative elements and the metaphysics to Asuri Brahmana, for in course of time this knowledge had been lost. The sum total of the creative elements is 24 in all. Each and every one of them is explicitly explained in the system of Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya philosophy is generally called metaphysics by the European scholars. The etymological meaning of the Sankhya is that which explains very lucidly by analysis of the material elements. This was done by the first time by Lord Kapila, who is said herein to be the fifth in the line of incarnations. Whoa. Analysis of the material elements. Next one. Shashtam atrerapatyattvam vretah prapto nanusya anasuyaya anvikshikim alarkaya prahladadibhya uchivan. Shashtam, the sixth one, Atri of Atri, Patyatvam, sonship, Vritaha, being prayed for, Praptaha, obtained, Anasuyaya, by Anasuya, Anvikshikam, on the subject of the transcendence, Alarkaya, unto the Alarka, Prahlada Adibhya, unto Prahlada and others, Uchivan spoke. Translation. The sixth incarnation of the Purusha was the son of the sage Atri. He was born from the womb of Anasuya, who prayed for an incarnation. He spoke on the subject of the transcendence of Alark to Alarka, Prahlada, and others, Yadu, Haya, etc. Ooh, sixth incarnation of the sage. What is the name? Dattatreya. Anasuya has, I think, three sons: Durvasa, Dattatreya, and one more is it? Okay, I don't know. The Lord incarnated himself as Dattatreya, the son of Rishi Atri and Anasuya. The history of the birth of Dattatreya as an incarnation of the Lord is mentioned in the Brahmanda Purana in the connection with the story of the devoted wife. It is said that Anasuya, the wife of Rishi Atri, prayed for the Lords Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva as follows: My Lords, if you are pleased with me and if you desire me to ask from you some sort of blessing, then I pray that you combine together to become my son. This was accepted with the Lords, and as Dattatreya, the Lord expounded the philosophy of the spirit soul and especially instructed Alarka, Prahlada, Yadu, Haihaya, etc. Tata Saptama Akutyam Rucher Yagno Vijayajatam Sa Yamadyehi Suraganai Apatsvayam Bhuvanantaram. Synonyms. Atataha. After that, Saptame, the seventh in the line, Akutyam, in the womb of Akuti, Ruchehi, with the Prajapati Ruchi, Yagnaha, the Lord's incarnation as Yagna, Abhyajayata, advented Sahi, Yama Adyahi, with Yama and others, Suraganai, with the demigods, Apata, ruled Swayambhuva Antaram, the change of the period of Swayambhuva Manu. The seventh incarnation was Yagna, the son of Prajapati Ruchi and his wife Akuti. He controlled the period during the change of the Swayambhuva Manu and was assisted by demigods such as his son Yama. The administrative posts occupied by the demigods for maintaining the regulations of the material world are offered to the highly elevated pious living beings. When there is a scarcity of such pious living beings, the Lord incarnates himself as Brahma, Prajapati, Indra, etc., and takes up the charge. During the period of Swayambhava Manu, the present period is of Vaivatsva Manu, there was no suitable living being who could occupy the post of Indra, the king of Indraloka, heaven's planet. The Lord himself at the time became Indra. Assisted by his own sons like Yama and other demigods, Lord Yajna ruled the administration of the universal affairs. Ooh. Astame meru divyam tu nabhir jata urukramaha darshayan vartma Tame, the eighth of the incarnations, Meru Divyamtu, in the womb of the Meru Devi, the wife of Nabihe, King Nabi. Jataha took birth, Urukramaha, the all-powerful Lord, Darshayan, by showing Vartma, the way, Dharma, Dhiranam, of the perfected beings, serve all ashrama orders of life, Namaskritam, honored by Apple translation. The eighth incarnation was King Rishabha, son of King Nabi and his wife Meru Devi. In this incarnation, the Lord showed the path of perfection, which is followed by those who have fully controlled their senses and who are honored by all orders of life. Wow. The society of human life is naturally divided into 8 by orders and statuses of life. The 4 divisions of the occupation and 4 divisions of the cultural advancement. The intelligent class, the administrative class, the cultural, next, the productive class, and the laborer classes are the 4 divisions of the occupation. And the student life, the householder's life, retired life, and renounced life, and are the 4 statuses of the cultural advancement toward the path of spiritual realization. Out of these, the renounced order of life, or the order of the sannyasa, is considered the highest of all, and the sannyasi is constitutionally the spiritual master of all the orders and divisions. In the sannyasa order also, there are 4 stages of upliftment toward perfection. These stages are called kuti chaka, kuti chaka, bahudaka, parivrajaka, charya, and paramahamsa. The Paramahamsa stage of life is the highest stage of perfection. This order of life is respected by all others. Maharaj Rishabha, the son of King Nabi and Meru Devi, was an incarnation of the Lord, and he instructed his sons to follow the path of perfection by tapasya, which sanctifies one's existence and enables one to attain the stage of spiritual happiness, which is eternal and ever increasing. Wow! Tapo divyam putrakayena sattam shuddhi yasmad brahma saukyam tvanantam, which is eternal and ever increasing. Every living being is searching after happiness, yes. But no one knows where eternal and unlimited happiness is attainable. This is the main point. Foolish men seek after material sense pleasure as a substitute for real happiness, yeah. But such foolish men forget that temporary so called happiness derived from the sense pleasures is also enjoyed by the dogs and hawks. Yeah. No animal, bird, or the beast is bereft of the sense pleasure. Think about this. No animal, beast, or beast is bereft of this sense pleasure. In every species of life, including the human form of life, such happiness is immensely obtainable. The human form of life, however, is not meant for such cheap happiness. The human life is meant for attaining eternal and unlimited happiness by spiritual realization. Wow, wow. You have to think this is cheap happiness. What is it? Cheap happiness is a word, you have to use it. Just cheap happiness. Yeah. The human life is meant for attaining eternal and unlimited happiness by spiritual realization. This spiritual realization, abstinence from material pleasure. Those who have been trained for abstinence and material pleasure are called dhira, the men undisturbed by the senses. Only these dhiras can accept the orders of sannyas, and they can gradually rise to the status of the Paramahamsa, which is adored by all members of the society. King Rishabha propagated this mission, and at the last stage, he became completely aloof from the material bodily needs, which is a rare stage, not to be imitated by foolish men, but to be worshipped by all. Okay, it's not to imitate, but you have to worship. There is a difference between imitation and there is a difference between worshipping. Okay, Vrishiryachito beji navamam partivam vapuhu dugdimam oshadin viprastenayam shotamas oshatamaham. Synonyms: Rishi bihi, but the sages Yachitaha, being prayed for, Beji accepted Navamam. The ninth one, Parthivam, the ruler of the earth, Vapahu, body, Dugdha, milking, Imam, all this, Oshadihi, products of the earth, Vipraha, O Brahmanas, Tene, by, I am this, Sa, he, Usattamaha, beautifully attractive. Translation: O Brahmanas, in the ninth incarnation, the Lord prayed for the by sages, accepted the body of the king Prithu, who cultivated the land to yield various produces, and for that reason the earth was beautiful and attractive. Wow, wow, wow. Purport. Before the advent of the king Prithu, there was a great havoc of the maladministration due to the vicious life of the previous kings. The previous king, the father of the Maharaj Prithu, The intelligent class of men, namely the sages and the brahmanas, not only prayed for the Lord to come down, but also dethrone the previous king. It is the duty of the king to be pious and thus look after the all-round welfare of their citizens. Whenever there is some negligence on the part of the king in discharging his duty, the intelligent class of men must dethrone him. The intelligent class of men, however, do not occupy the royal throne because they have much more important duties for the welfare of the public. Instead of occupying the royal throne, they prayed for the incarnation of the Lord. Wow, that's the most important duties than occupying the throne. The Lord became as Maharaj Prithu. Real intelligent men or qualified brahmanas never aspired for political posts. Maharaj Prithu excavated many producers from the earth, and thus not only did the citizens become happy to have such a good king, but the complete sight of the earth also became beautiful and attractive. Wow, wow. When someone does devotional service, they will be more beautiful, right? Yeah. Rupam sajagri matsyam चाक्षुषोदधी संप्लवे नाभि आरोप्य महीमय्यं मय्याम् apadvaivasavam manum. Synonyms: Rupam, form. Sahi, Jagri, accepted the maxim of the fish. Chakshusha, Udadhi, water. Samplave, inundation. Navi, keeping on. Mahi, the earth. Mayam, drowned in. Apat, protected. Vaivatsam, Manu, the father of man. Translation: when there was a complete inundation after the period of the Chakshusha Manu, and the whole world was deep within the water, the Lord accepted the form of a fish and protected Vaivatsava Manu, keeping him up on a boat. According to Sri Sridhar Swami, the original commentator on the Bhagavatam, there is not always a devastation after a change of every Manu. And yet, this inundation after the period of Chakshusha Manu took place in order to show some wonders of Satyavrata. But Sri Jiva Goswami has given definite proofs from authoritative scriptures like Vishnu Dharmottara, Markandeya Purana, and Harivamsa, etc., that there is always a devastation after the end of each and every Manu. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has also supported Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Chakravarti, has also quoted from Bhagavatamrita about this inundation after each Manu. Apart from this, Lord, in order to show special favor to the Satyavrata, a devotee of the Lord, in his particular period, he incarnated himself. Oh. But they say first incarnation, Matsya. Who is that like that? Surasuranam udadim natam mandarachalam dadre kamata rupena prishta ekadashe vibhu. Sura, the atheist. As Suranam, the atheist, udadim, in the ocean, natam, churning, mandarachalam, the mandarachalam hill, dadre, sustained, kamatha, tortoise, Rupen in the form of a priste, shell, Ekadasi, the 11th in the line, Vibhu, the great. Translation: the 11th incarnation of the Lord took the form of the tortoise, whose shell served as a pivot for the Mandara Chala hill, which was being used as a churning rod by the theist and atheist of the universe. Again, read it. Tortoise, which shared is pivot for the Mandarachala hill, which was being used as a churning rod by the asuras and suras of the universe. Once the atheists and theists were engaged in producing nectar from the ocean so that all of them could become deathless by drinking it. At the time, the Mandarachala hill was used as a churning rod and the shell of the Lord tortoise. The incarnation of God, it became the resting place, pivot of the hill in the sea water. Dhanvantaram dvadasamam Trayodasamam yevacha apayayat samanyam mohayan striyam. Dhanvantarayam, the incarnation of the Godhead named Dhanvantaram. Dvadasanam, the 12th in the line. Trayodasanam, the 13th in the line. Eva, Suranicha, and Apayatat gave to drink Swaram, the demigods, Anya and others. Mohinya, by charming beauty. Mohyam, alluring Striya in the form of woman. In the 12th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Dhanvantari. And in the 13th, beauty of a woman and gave the next Mohini Avataram. Chaturdasam Narasimham Urjitam Dadara Eka Yerakam Katakridyatam. Chaturdasam, the 14th in the line, Narasimham, the incarnation of the Lord as a half man and half lion. Bibrat, advented, Daitya Indram, the kings of the atheist. Urjitam, strongly built, the Dara, bifurcated Karajai by the nails, Uru, Urau on the lap, Yerakam, canes, Katakrata, carpenter, Yata, just like. In the 14th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Narasimha and bifurcated the strong body of the atheist Hiranyakasipu with his nails, just as a carpenter pierces cane. Wow. Panchadasham Vamanakam Kritva Gat Advaram Balihi Padatrayam Yatamanaha Pratyadishtustripastapam. Panchadasham, the 15th in the line, Vamanakam, the dwarf Brahmana, Kritva, by assumption of Agat, went Advaram, arena of the sacrifice, Bali of the king Bali, Padatrayam, 3 steps only, Yachamana, begging, Pratyadishtuhu, willing at heart to return, 3 Pishtapam, the kingdom of the 3 planetary system, the translation. And the 15th incarnation, the Lord assumed the form of a dwarf Brahmana, Vamana, and visited the arena of the sacrifice arranged by Maharaj Bali. Although at heart he was willing to regain the kingdom of the 3 planetary systems, he simply accepted for a donation of the 3 states of the land. Purport. The Almighty Lord can bestow upon anyone the kingdom of the universe from a very small beginning, and similarly, he can take away the kingdom of the universe on a plea of begging a small child. This is so nice. Avatari Shodasame Pashyan Brahmadruho Nripan Trih Sapta Kritva Kupito Nikshatram Makaron Mahim. Avatar in the incarnation of the Lord, Sodasame in the 16th, Pashyan seeing Brahma Druhaha, disobedient to the orders of the Brahmanas. Nripan, the kingly order, Trih Sapta, thrice 7 times, Kritva, have done, Kupitaha, being engaged, Nih, negation, Kshatram, the administrative class, Akarot, did perform Mahim, the earth. In the 17th incarnation of the Godhead, the Lord as Brigupati annihilated the administrative class 21 times, being angry with them because of the rebellion against the Brahmanas, the intelligent class. The Kshatriyas, or the administrative class of men, are expected to rule the planet by the direction of the intelligent class of men, who give direction to the rulers in terms of the standard Shastras or the books of the revealed knowledge. The rulers carry on the administration according to that direction. Whenever there is disobedience on the path of the Kshatriyas, or the administrative class, against the order of the learned or intelligent Brahmanas, the administrators are removed by force from the post. And the arrangement is made for better administration. It's always for better administration. Nice. Next. Tatah saptadashe jhatah satyavatyaam parasrad chakre vidataro shakam drishtva vamsholapamedasaham. Tatah, thereafter, saptadashe, in the 17th incarnation, jhatah, advented, satyavatyam, in the womb of Satyavati, Parasarad, by Parasaramani, Chakre, prepared, Veda Taroha, of the desired tree of the Vedas, Sakaha, branches, Drishtva, by seeing, Pumshaha, the people in general, Alpamedashaha, less intelligent. Thereafter, in the 17th incarnation of Godhead, Sri Vyasadeva appeared in the womb of Satyavati through Parasara Muni. And he divided the one Veda into several branches and sub-branches, seeing that the people in general were less intelligent. Purport. Originally, the Veda is one, but Srila Vyasa, they divided the original Veda into 4, namely Sama, Yajur, Rig, Atharva. And then again, they were explained in different branches by like the Puranas and Mahabharata. Vedic knowledge and the subject matter are very difficult for ordinary men. They are understood by the highly intelligent and self-realized Brahmanas. But the present age of the Kali is full of ignorant men. Even those who are born by a Brahmana father are in the present days no better than a Shudras, or the women. The twice born men, namely the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, are expected to undergo a cultural purificatory process known as samskaras. But because of the bad influence of the present age, the so-called members of the Brahmana and the other high order families are no longer highly cultured. They are called Dvijabandhus, or the friends and the families of the members of the twice born. But these Dvijabandhus are classified amongst the Shudras and the women. Srila Vyasadeva divided the Vedas into various branches and sub-branches for the sake of less intelligent classes like the Dvijabandhu Shudras and women. Okay. Naradevatvam apanna surakritva chikishaya samudra nigrahadini chakre viryanayata param. Nara, human being, devatvam, divinity, apanna, having assumed the form of sura, the demigod's karya, the activity chikishaya for the purpose of performing samudra, the Indian Ocean, nigraha adini, controlling it, etc. Chakre, we did perform viryani, superhuman prowess, ataha param, thereafter. Translation: in the 18th incarnation, the Lord appeared as King Rama in the order to perform some pleasing work for the demigods. He exhibited superhuman powers by controlling the Indian Ocean and then killing the atheist King Ravana, who was on the other side of the sea. Jai. Purport: the personality of God Sri Rama assumed the form of human being and appeared on the earth for the purpose of doing some pleasing work for the demigods and the administrative personalities to maintain the order of the universe. Sometimes great demons and atheists like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu, many others, become very famous due to the advancing material civilization by the help of the material science and other activities, but with the spirit of challenging the established order of the Lord. For example, the attempt to fly to other planets by material means is a challenge to the established order. The conditions of each and every planet are different, and different classes of human beings are accommodated there for a particular purpose is mentioned in the codes of the Lord. But puffed up by tiny success in the material advancement, sometimes the godless materialist challenged the existence of God. Ravana was one of them, and he wanted to deport ordinary men to the planet of Indra heaven considering of the necessary qualifications. He wanted a staircase to be built by up directly reaching the heavenly planets so that people might not be required to undergo the routine of the pious work necessary to enter that planet. He also wanted to perform those other acts against the established rule of the Lord, even challenging the authority of the Sri Ram, the personality of God, and kidnapped his wife Sita. Of course, Lord Ram came to chastise this atheist, answering the prayer and desire of the demigods. He therefore took up the challenge of Ravana, and the complete activity is the subject matter of the Ramayana. Because Lord Ramachandra was a personality of Godhead, he exhibited superhuman activity which no human being, including the materially advanced Ravana, could perform. Lord Ramachandra prepared a royal road in the Indian Ocean with stones that floated in the water. The modern scientists have done research in the area of the weightlessness, but it is not possible to bring in weightlessness anywhere and everywhere. But because weightlessness is the creation of the Lord by which he can make the gigantic planets fly and float in the air, he made the stones even within this earth to be weightless and prepared a stone bridge on the sea without any supporting pillar. This is the display of the power of God. Thank you so much.